Here's how it'll look. In phase 1, you'll discover who you truly are. In phase 2, you'll learn how to embrace and love what you uncover. And in phase 3, you'll learn to trust yourself so that you can build a life that fully feels like your own. Hi everyone, welcome back to Her podcast, where we explore all things self-discovery, empowerment, and authenticity. I'm your host, kinashysae, and in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing the 3-phase roadmap. It's going to help you overcome confusion, pressure, and misalignment that comes from years of conditioning. These phases that I'm going to be sharing with you create a foundation for a life that is deeply aligned with who you are at your core. Here's how it'll look. In phase 1, you'll discover who you truly are. In phase 2, you'll learn how to embrace and love what you uncover. And in phase 3, you'll learn to trust yourself so that you can build a life that fully feels like your own. I'm going to break down each of these phases and what you can expect in each phase. But before we get into that, make sure you subscribe and follow on your favorite audio or visual platform. And follow at Her podcast on Instagram for extra insights, prompts, and support as we work through these phases together. Now, let me tell you why these 3 phases matter. Self-awareness is the foundation for everything. And this phase is all about peeling back the layers. Asking yourself questions like, who am I when no one's watching? What is it that I actually want to do with my life? What do I want while I'm here? What do I actually need? Knowing yourself isn't just about your preferences, like your favorite foods or hobbies, though we will explore these too. At its core, it's about understanding your values, your triggers, and the experiences that shaped you. When you truly know yourself, you stop settling, you recognize misalignment fast as hell, and you move with clarity and confidence. Who doesn't want that? The goal of this phase is to give you a strong foundation, one that evolves as you grow, reach new milestones, and experience life changes. For example, as you go through this phase, you might uncover that you have a love for the arts. Let's say painting. When life shifts like stepping into motherhood, you'll know exactly what it is that you need to feel like yourself, even while giving so much of yourself to your little human. This clarity empowers you. You'll stop saying yes to things that don't align with you because you'll have hard evidence of who you are and what fulfills you. So many women I know find themselves stuck in what they can or should be doing rather than what actually lights them up. And it's not because they don't want more for themselves or they don't want to be happy, but because they simply don't know what more looks like for them. This phase has 2 major goals. 1, to help you understand yourself and your needs, so you always have a foundation to return to even when life changes. And 2, to wake up those dormant parts of yourself that you don't even know exist. Because this is already planned out, I'm going to give you a couple of example topics we'll cover in this phase. Identifying your true wants and needs is definitely a topic we'll cover, talking about whether you're living by outside influences and conditioning or by what truly fulfills you. Another topic we'll cover is creating your own personal SWOT analysis, so you know how we do a SWOT for like businesses, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I want to do a personal SWOT because I know the power of assessing your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and potential threats, so you can clearly see the gap between where you are now and where you're trying to go. And another example of a topic we'll cover is learning your triggers. I am very fond of this. I actually stumbled upon this accidentally when I was on this journey, and I'm so glad that I did because it's something that I always go back to. Okay, I am behaving a certain kind of way. What is causing me to behave this way? And it's recognizing the things that trigger you, and then you can create routines and habits to help you not be triggered, or at least not as triggered. And it's just going to help you navigate relationships and challenges with more ease. If you're intrigued, we're starting with phase 1. Literally, the next episode is 12 signs if you're in alignment. So make sure you subscribed and following so that you don't miss any of these episodes. Now let's talk about phase 2, loving yourself. Once you know yourself, the next challenge is to love what you discover. This phase is all about embracing yourself fully. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness you would treat a friend, learning to prioritize your needs without guilt, and standing firmly in your truth, standing on big business. This is where you act on everything you uncovered in phase 1. You'll gather the tools to set boundaries so you can explore your desires freely without guilt, rewrite your negative self-talk to break free from the limiting beliefs holding you back, and let go of control so you can live imperfectly but with deep fulfillment. For me, this phase was a turning point. I had all the knowledge in the world, but if I didn't love myself, I was going to stay in places, around people, giving my energy to things that just was not in alignment with me. Because I was very intentional in this phase of my life, I was able to give myself permission on what I knew to be true for myself. And that looked like letting go and walking away from what I thought was the truth. And most importantly, to stop dimming my light to make others feel comfortable. I'm going to say it one more time. To stop dimming my light to make others comfortable. The people that are locked in, this is my biggest goal. You are not dimming your light post 2025, I promise. I kind of already hit on some topics we'll explore in this phase, like rewriting negative self-talk and learning how to set boundaries. But we'll also talk about assertive communication, because knowing what you want is one thing, but being able to express it is another. And overcoming fear of confrontation is another topic that I am very passionate about, because you don't need to be scared or feel guilty for standing firm in what you need. I actually want you to head over to Instagram and let me know what topics you're excited to hear about in this phase, because I want to make sure I'm covering what you need most. I have my list of ideas, but I also want to make sure that I'm in alignment with what you guys need. Now, the final phase, trust. This is where alignment comes in. Trusting yourself means listening to your intuition, making decisions with confidence, and standing firm in your values, even when it's hard. It's knowing without a doubt in the back of your mind, I got my back. Full transparency, this was probably the hardest phase for me. Not even probably, this was the hardest phase for me. I felt so bad for putting myself first, for setting boundaries, saying no, and chasing my own dreams. But once I got it, oh baby, I got it. I still have a journal entry from 2022 where I wrote about finally trusting my intuition again. And I cannot wait to share it with you when we get to this phase. Some topics we'll explore in this phase is building confidence through action. Trusting yourself isn't necessarily something you're born with. It's built by doing things like keeping the promises you make to yourself. We'll go over listening to your gut feelings and intuitions and why it's so important. I'll even share some personal gut feelings that I do not ignore no matter what. And we're going to touch heavy on authenticity in this phase as well, because you're not seeking outside validation anymore. You know exactly who you are. I see trust as that bridge between where you are and where you're trying to be. Whatever you want is on the other side of trusting and believing that you can have it. So excited that I get to share my journey with you all and teach you literally everything that has helped me become the woman that I am today, living a life that feels true to me. My relationships look different. The way I go about how I'm living my life is different. Everything is just different. And when I was lost, feeling stuck and unfulfilled, these 3 phases is exactly what got me back on track, and honestly, even better than what I thought I wanted. Becoming your most authentic self isn't about arriving at a destination, meaning you have to go through these phases of getting to know yourself, loving what you find, and trusting yourself so much that you believe and you know that everything that you want and that you're doing for yourself will work out and give you the life that you want. Each phase builds on the last, creating a foundation for deep alignment and a life that actually feels good. Over the next few weeks, we'll be diving into phase 1, getting to know yourself. We're going to start with how to tell if you're out of alignment, and then we'll get into topics like core values, knowing your true wants and needs, understanding your triggers, and so much more. I'm so excited about this phase, and this phase is so important to me because I know firsthand without self-awareness, you're most likely living by societal expectations and other people's opinions and beliefs. Not only leads to burnout, dissatisfaction, regret, feeling lost, stuck, but I also know when you meet yourself where you are and you get to know yourself, you make decisions that align with who you are at your core. You reduce self-doubt and live a life that feels authentic. You no longer can afford to live out of alignment. I'll see you next Monday for episode 1, 12 signs you're out of alignment. Don't forget to follow at True to Her podcast on Instagram so you get behind the scenes, extra insights, prompts to support. If this episode resonated with you and you feel called to leave a review, please do so and share this with a friend who is also on this journey.